So, what if I told you the most expensive meal in history wasn't some fancy five-star dish, but two pizzas from Papa John's? Yeah, you heard that right. Today on The Explainer, we're going to unpack how a simple pizza order turned into an absolute legend in the worlds of tech and finance.
All right, let's just start with a number that is kind of hard to wrap your head around. Over $700 million. That's the value, today, of two large pizzas. Seriously, two pizzas bought way back in 2010.
So how in the world does a pizza order become one of the most famous transactions ever? Well, it's this incredible story that's so much more than just a funny anecdote. It's really the perfect example of how some niche digital experiment, just an idea kicked around on an internet forum, can explode into a global financial force. To really get the weight of that number, you've got to jump in a time machine, because it's the huge gap between then and now that makes this whole thing so legendary.
So let's go back to May 2010. The 10,000 Bitcoin that were used to buy those pizzas, they were worth about 41 bucks. You know, at the time, that's a pretty fair price for a couple of large pies.
Fast forward to today, that exact same 10,000 Bitcoin, it's skyrocketed to over $700 million. I mean, that is just a staggering jump, and it really shows you just how far Bitcoin has come.
All right, so who was the guy who made this now famous purchase? Let's travel back to 2010 and meet the programmer at the very heart of this new technology.
So on May 18th, 2010, this programmer, Laszlo Hanyek, he posts on the Bitcoin Talk forum. Hanyek was one of the early Bitcoin miners, and back then, get this, you could actually mine coins on a regular home computer. So he'd stacked up a good amount of this new digital money and decided to post this really unusual but simple offer to the community.
And his request was just so casual. He said, I'll pay 10,000 Bitcoins for a couple of pizzas, like maybe two large ones so I have some left over for the next day. I mean, he wasn't trying to make history, right? The dude was just hungry. He just wanted the convenience of getting food delivered using these digital coins he had without having to order it himself.
And for a few days, crickets. Nobody took him up on it. But then, 4 days later, a user in the UK named Jeremy Sturdivant accepted the offer. So, he calls up a Papa John's in Florida, orders two pizzas to be sent to Hanyek's house, and in return, he gets the 10,000 Bitcoin. And just like that, the very first real-world Bitcoin transaction was done.
Okay, so why are we still talking about a pizza order more than a decade later? This is where it goes from being just a simple meal to a massive, landmark moment for a whole industry.
This is why it was such a huge deal. It was never really about the pizza. It was a proof of concept. That transaction on May 22nd, which we now celebrate as Bitcoin Pizza Day, was the first documented time that this digital code was used to buy something real, something you could actually hold or, eat.
Think about the significance here. This one purchase proved that Bitcoin had real-world utility. It wasn't just some hobbyist's experiment anymore. It showed that a peer-to-peer exchange for actual physical goods could work. This sparked a ton of curiosity, which helped drive wider adoption, and it really symbolized a whole new era in decentralized finance. So yeah, this whole thing quickly went from just a forum post to a full-blown internet legend, the story of the pizza guy. And honestly, the personal side of this is just as fascinating as the tech side.
And what's really wild is that for years, nobody really talked about this. It was just this obscure bit of trivia on a forum. Hanyek posted his offer on May 18th. The deal was done on the 22nd, but it wasn't until around 2014 that the story really started to gain traction in the news. And from there, it just exploded into the annual celebration the crypto community has today.
So what happened to the two guys in the deal? The buyer, Laszlo Hanyek, he just kept on working as a developer. He's even said he has no regrets. But the seller, Jeremy Sturdivant, the guy who got the 10,000 BTC, he reportedly sold them all in 2015 for around 400 bucks. Talk about a different financial outcome from one single transaction.
Okay, so let's move on. Beyond the mind-blowing numbers, what does Bitcoin Pizza Day really mean to people today? It's really become a holiday for a new era, a symbol for something much, much bigger.
You know, for the whole crypto community, Pizza Day is this powerful reminder of a few things. First, Bitcoin's super humble beginnings. Second, the incredible transformative power of new tech. It's also all about that spirit of innovation and just trying stuff out. And maybe most importantly, it shows how crucial a community is to actually drive adoption of something new.
When you boil it all down, this whole story is the perfect journey of an idea.
It starts as this tiny niche forum post, almost totally unnoticed, and it grows into a global celebration, a worldwide phenomenon that makes us all question what money even is.
You know, every great technology has its own pizza day moment, a point where it proves it can work in the real world. So what's going to be the next one? This whole story, this simple meal, it just shows that the next huge innovation might be starting right now with a transaction that seems completely insignificant today. And it really makes you wonder, what little exchange happening right now will we be talking about 10 years from now?